What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Silencio today, SLC token. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Shout out for Easy Money XRP ZBCN. I love it. Easy Money dash XRP dash ZBCN. He's making it easy for anybody following the comments. He's like, hey, look, you want Easy Money XRP ZBCN? Yeah, Easy Money for sure. Might be finding some easy money here in SLC as well, but shout out to you, my friend, for the request. I did ask Grok, and I'd like to read to you guys the words that he gave me. You know what? Maybe I can pull it up here. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Let's see. We're gonna pull it up right here because I have it on a different tab right here. Yeah. Okay. So Grok, yeah. I asked him, tell me about the. I actually asked him about Silencio, and I typed in Silencio. I said Silencio, and he says quietly nods. Tell me about the crypto project. Okay, so Silencio is a decentralized physical infrastructure DPIN project. You don't get too many DPINs. I mean, there are a ton of them, but you don't hear about that too often. Probably am not allocated enough into DPIN, but project built on the Peak blockchain, designed to create the world's largest crowdsourced audio data network. It's a spy coin. It empowers users to turn on their smartphones into hyper local noise sensors via a free mobile app, collecting real world audio data for applications in AI, robotics, urban planning, public health, real estate, and environmental monitoring. Founded in 2018. That's great. I love projects that have been developing for a while and then they release the token. You know why I love projects that do that? Because projects that do it the other way around, where they develop the token first and then they develop the project, those are money grabs. Those are money grabs, right? That's what meme coins. That's what a lot of projects are. When you have something that's verifiably been established for years before the token comes out, that means that they've been working. They actually have a product. There's something there before they ever actually come to market and ask people to invest in their tokens. So that's pretty cool. I actually love seeing that. Here, let me see. Let me get this back. All right, so uh, the project addresses noise pollution. I had a feeling whenever it said environmental monitoring, affecting over 1 billion people globally who per WHO data, while expanding into ethical audio intelligence for voice AI, AR, and VR, and spatial computing. With over 1.2 million users across 180 different countries, more than 41 billion data points collected, Silencio positions itself as the foundational audio layer for machine learning, for machine hearing, sorry, with a projected market size exceeding $100 billion by 2030. I wonder who said that. Grok's saying that, but don't take that as a or is it saying market size audio, the audio layer for machine hearing, is that as a market itself going to be worth $100 billion, and this is going to get a slice of that maybe. The native token SLC incentivizes participation, blah blah blah. Okay, so we got the footnotes, right? We got the spark notes. I'm not going to read all this stuff, right? This isn't story time with C-Zar, but I just gave a quick little bit. If you want to look at all this data, you can. You know, you can look it up with Grok yourself, or you can just pause and just read all that stuff there. But let's get into SLC. The main request that Easy Money was requesting was that I do some TA. We're looking at this here. You know, I type in SLC USD and Solace. You know, if you ever find this, if you're ever trying to find the crypto and there's already another crypto that's under crypto here, you this chart typically has the all-time history, but Solace is not Silencio. So what you do is, if it's Silencio, maybe I'll type in S afterwards. Silencio, boom, just like that. Sometimes that works. Sometimes, because S is the first character. I don't know. Let's see. KuCoin, does it look any different than this? Oh, it's taking so long. Why was it so fast and now it's taking so long? Let's try and turn up the performance here. I'm going to work it. It should load. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it's the same with KuCoin as it was on the other one. We'll take KuCoin's chart because I think, you know, having volume is definitely beneficial. If we're looking at this chart for what it is on a daily time frame, which it only came out back in January of this year, for what it is, it's just a large accumulation range. That's all it is. You sold off, of course. You got listed, you had your massive pump, and then you sold off. Low volume, you came back up. Now you've got higher lows. This is definitely interesting. And I have to admit, Easy Money, it's not, this isn't something that I'm fully aware of, that I have the best, let's say, knowledge or information on as far as what the value could be. But it is unique. It's different. And it's also a very low market cap. You know, you got 7.8, $7.9 million market cap level, 15% of your market cap or volume to market cap ratio over the last 24 hours. You definitely have a lot of room to grow. But the one thing that I don't like here is that your circulating supply is 17.5 billion, where your total supply is about 100 billion. Now, I am aware that you do burn tokens. There is some burning going on, which is pretty nice. And I think Grok even actually mentions that here. Let's see. Let's see. Burn mechanism, ongoing token burn. So that's good. 25 million SLC were burned recently, totaling 1.4 billion. So they have burned some tokens, and it seems like they probably are planning to do so. So if a lot of the supply is there to burn as well, that's great. 70% of the supply, I'm pretty sure, is there for rewards, right? Let's see, 75% of supply for beta users, including airdrops, token contributions, stuff like that, or for contributions, stuff like that. So that's, oh no, I'm sorry, it's not 75%. It's just 7.5%. Well, that's not as nice, but still, I'm not worried about the circulating supply versus the total supply, but it is a big disparity. You can see that there, right? So let's look at these token unlocks and just see how this goes over time, real quick. Mr. Moonman, SLC, the world's ears for AI and robotics. Let's see, allocation. So let's break this down, okay? Community campaigns. Okay. So that's like for the community. All right, cool. Beta airdrop, early investors, right? Core contributors, early investors, team members, right? Investors, early investors, and then advisors, early investors, part of the team. So it's like 50% of the supply is basically going to the team, which you typically see that. They church it up by saying core contributors, beta air, well, maybe not beta airdrop, but investors and advisors, you know, but that's all basically the same thing as like the team. We're looking at this here. A lot of unlocks have happened already. There's a lot more to go, clearly, but we're going to be at a steady pace until about when? January of 2026. So in January, there's going to be a larger increase in unlocks in January, the middle of January. So we should see this thing, I would think, between now and then really start to grow. I wouldn't be surprised if it continued to grow going into the end of this cycle, but it's very possible that between now and January we see a lot of growth, because typically before these massive unlocks happen, you do see the price explode, and then the unlocks happen, that holds the price back. You see some selling off, right? They kind of do their marketing and stuff to try to get the price to rise, so that whenever these tokens unlock, they can sell at a higher price, whatever it is that's getting unlocked. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did see this thing explode. So for now, at least until January, okay, it's September, it's the middle of September. By this time, it's the 20th of September. By the 20th of January, or maybe the 15th, whatever it is, what is this date here where it starts to go up? It's the 19th. So October, November, December, January, 4 months from now, you've got over a quarter of a year. It's a lot of time to grow. That's a lot of time to grow. From this kind of market cap, you guys, if it gains the right attention, I mean, who knows? Like by the end of the year, this thing could be worth $700 million. Like you could see crazy stuff, and that's a 100x, by the way. From this growth, that's about a one from this market cap, that's about a 100x. I'm not saying that between now and January this coin's going to do a 100x. I'm just saying it's at a low enough market cap where crazy things can happen. The right developments, the right partnerships, the right momentum, media hype gets built for this thing. You could definitely see that kind of stuff happen. We've seen crazy things like this happen every single cycle. Is this one going to be that one? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it's got the potential with this kind of low market cap. And I really do like the chart. You know, all that stuff to say, just to cut back to the TA here, I really do like the chart because it has just moved sideways. There's clear accumulation going on, I think. It's almost like you've got a very massive diamond pattern here, and you're breaking out to the upside, clearly looking good here. I don't think you stop here. I do believe that you go higher. I'm not going to measure from the high to low here. I'm going to measure from this high. So I'm going to take that high to the low here and just see, look at that. You're holding the 236, found resistance right at the 786, showing significance at these various fib levels. I feel pretty good about that there. What I would think, and if I'm off, I might be off by a little bit because, again, these are kind of obscure. Maybe we can overlay some other fibs on here, high to low. You know, 1886200 lines up very well with the 1272. That's at $0.0011. We're at $0.00045 right now. The next target after that, look at that. They actually line up pretty well, don't they? So I think anything between $0.00116 to $0.0024 is a adequate estimation for where the next stopping point would be on this thing. Okay, if we're looking at this here, that's anything from like a 2.5x to about a 5.4x, 5.5x itself. Now that's a long ways away from a 100x, but whenever I say next stopping point, I mean this could be by the end of September, it could be by the beginning of October. Maybe you stop here momentarily, you come down, you find support at prior resistance here or prior resistance here, and then by the end of October going into November, December, you're rallying more. You know, by the end of the year, you could be up a lot higher. And by the way, just from September 7th to now, basically in the last 2 weeks, you've moved up 260%. So in the next 6 weeks, you could move up a lot more than that. You absolutely could. You know, we could see targets all the way up to 2 cents. It's very possible. By the end of October, yeah, it's very possible. Crazy, crazy stuff can happen, you guys. I wouldn't necessarily call for that. I think we should stay grounded and look at the targets ahead of us. Something between about 0.0025 to 0.00116, somewhere in that area first. You break above here, and then we step it up to the next levels, okay? You break above the golden ratio here, which is the 2618 and the 1618, it's very likely that you go to about half a cent or more, which that would put you at about a 10x from here or more, and by the end of October. So we'll see. You know, we'll see how it goes, but there's definitely some target areas to consider. I would think that by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this thing was worth 1 cent or more. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything I need to say. Shout out to Easy Money. I hope you liked this video. One more thing, actually, before we end this video, is that on a daily time frame, the RSI looks pretty good. The stochastics look good. The MACD looks good as well. There is some bearish divergence forming, but I wouldn't be too concerned with that personally. As long as your volume is building, as long as you're getting more volume in as you're growing, I think that you're going to be fine. You are at points of resistance, so you know, if you want to make a play here, just don't be surprised if you do find some turbulence and if you come down, okay? If you were to buy here, accept the fact that it could go lower. I doubt that we go lower than these lows. I bet those lows uphold. But looking at the 4-hour time frame, I would believe that you continue to grow. I don't see you stopping here. 1-hour time frame, kind of funky. I mean, it could suggest that you're going lower, but overall it's strong. So I don't feel confident making a call off of that. I would just say, again, if you're looking to buy this thing, understand where you are relative to this whole life cycle so far, is that you're at higher points. So if you buy here, all those upside targets are still on the table, but there is the risk of coming down. If you were to come down, the lowest that I would guess you'd go down to, I mean, from here, it would be about a 50% drop. And that could happen, you guys. That could happen overnight, and then the next day it's up. So you don't want to, if you buy here, you have to tell yourself that you're okay with that kind of drop, and that if it drops down there, you'll only buy more, or certainly don't sell, because I very much do believe this looks like accumulation. I very much do believe you're going to go to all these targets that we talked about over the coming weeks and by the end of the year. So just have patience and, yeah, do your own research. Make sure that you like the project that you're investing in. I got nothing else for you guys. And if I had any thoughts, actually, I keep saying I don't have anything else. If I had any thoughts, I wouldn't say get out by January 20th, sell by the unlock dates. Go for it if you want to. That might not be a bad strategy, but just because those unlocks happen, just because we see the unlocks happen at a faster rate there, doesn't mean necessarily that the price is going to tank or that it's worth letting go, right? It could definitely see new all-time highs still continuing through the cycle, and I do believe that the bull market for this cycle will end sometime in March, April, May of 2026. So, maybe January you consolidate through January down into February, and then you move up in March, April, May. But if you want to play that strategy of buying now and holding until that massive unlock, or maybe selling a week or two before that massive unlock, if you want to make that play, that's probably not a bad play. Not, just thinking out loud here. Number 1,277 is definitely low on the rankings. You got room to grow. Doesn't mean that it will grow. Again, do your own research. I just gave you the spark notes. Do your own research. Make sure it's something that you like. But I got nothing else for you guys, all right? Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm done for real this time. Bye-bye.